Hey Shooby-Doodlers, how are you doing? Well, I painted this yesterday. I spent a lot of time thinking, shall I have blue there? I wanted nice pastel colours and, you know, one thing another. And then I scanned it and I put it into InDesign, which is the book program. And then I just checked everything was all right. And there's a little piece of text here. And Benny here says, it's all a bit pink, isn't it? Blue, yellow. I realised I hadn't read the text. I wrote the text a year ago and I've forgotten. So everything here should be pink. So I'm going to have to redo it again. So I've drawn it again. And some people, I suppose, would get very upset. But I think over the years, I've got used to making mistakes. And you just got to get on with it. So let's not talk about it and let's make this pink. I'm sort of losing count. I think I have 8 days left to get this book illustrated. Looking okay. I'm going to take Friday off because you just cannot keep going all the time. You need a break every now and then. And I can actually feel my eyes aching a little bit. And I know last night my shoulder was aching a lot. And oh, wonderful physiotherapist who kind of gave me some exercises to do this, and so I did that. And I got one of those spiky ball kind of things, which I kind of roll my shoulder against a wall with this spiky ball. And there's this one spot that gets really knotted up, and this spiky ball really kind of unknots it. It's a bit like kind of having a massage. It's kind of, I know that my physiotherapist, when I went about really aching arms, actually this finger, it all comes down here. So when I paint an awful lot, I get this real ache all the way down my finger and then kind of all the way up my arm. And so she was digging around in my back, in my shoulder, and went, oh, there you are, that's it. And I nearly hit the ceiling when she kind of hit this nerve. And it's this kind of one nerve. And we reckon it was kind of from when I was a teenager. I had a bicycle crash. I remember the hospital staff being really, amused that it was a bicycle and not a motorbike, because they were used more to motorbike crashes. And I broke my collarbone, and quite badly actually. And they kind of pinned it and did all sorts of terrible things. And I think they kind of did something to the nerves at the time. And So I kind of had this aching shoulder when I paint too much. Now I have to remember to paint this pink. And so, but I guess it's one of those occupational hazards, isn't it? That's the word I'm looking for. And at least now I've got the exercises that kind of cure it. That's the thing, and sort the problem out. Now, previously I went and put the lettering on there. I'm going to do that on Photoshop, I've decided. So I'm going to have pink lettering, and then I'll have pink like this, and then I'll have white lettering, which I'll put on in Photoshop. And similarly, I put it on there, and it just, I wasn't happy with it really. So in some ways, I'm quite sort of happy to redo this. I think I'm going to make that just a slight, maybe, yeah, that does it there. So I'm quite pleased to do this. And so in this story, they're looking at various babies that can be chosen online. It'll come. And Benny, he's the dog. He's kind of thinking, he's seen Penny's choice, and it's all a bit pink. Everything that comes with it. So you don't just get the baby, you get kind of stuff that comes with it too. And these are all the kind of things that come with it. And he's a bit kind of, not sure about that. It's all a bit pink, because obviously he wants a boy. And so there we are. Now, yesterday I was talking about paper and stretching paper and watercolour paper and stuff like that. And Calvin Zero commented saying, I've been experimenting with paper weight lately. I think 300 grams per square inch GSM paper should fix the buckling problem. All my painting on 300 GSM paper are mostly buckle free. They just curve slightly at the most. But the painting on 200 GSM paper, they all buckle and ripple. Yeah, I think, you know, if you don't want to stretch paper out, then you really need to go to 300 grams, which is quite thick. It's, you know, it's kind of card weight paper, and obviously it's a bit more expensive, and you know, not everyone can afford that. I will always recommend Sea White, Sea White of Brighton have very good quality paper, and always at a kind of a much cheaper price. And I think theirs is, let me have a look. I found an empty pad. Theirs is 350 grams, so theirs is quite stiff. But it's got that kind of deckly, buckly surface finish. And what I really like here is this. This is a really smooth finish. And as I said yesterday, I'm afraid you can't get this paper anymore. But I did show you this one, Langton, 300 gram, hot pressed, smooth. That's really important for me. And this still has a slight kind of pattern to this one, but this is just really smooth. And this is CS2, and I'm afraid you can't get it anymore unless you know better. I think a lot of these things are just, you know, it's kind of what you start with and what you get used to. And I got really used to using CS2 paper when I started. And that's what I like to use now, and I'm very lucky to have that supply. I think there's more things coming along. I saw something recently actually called Botanical Ultra Smooth, which is again 300 grams. And it is very smooth, but I didn't like it. I can't remember why. Maybe I'll have another go at it, and I'll have another go and do a video about that. I had another comment from Mel Manhattan saying, how do you keep your colours consistent throughout the book? Like making sure the dog fur is always the same shade or opacity throughout. I think the only answer I can give to that is experience and practice. And I think when I first started out, I would make a Bible of the character, so it would be a little book or not even a book, but a pile of bits of paper where I had drawn the character over and over again, so that I could always come and refer back to it. But other than that, I think it's probably just experience and practice. So Mel, I'm afraid I can't really say more than that. I think maybe also, for instance, as you say, the dog fur is burnt umber, and I pretty much use just pure straight burnt umber for that. And I'm trying to get my pink here, and opacity and consistency. I think that's. Again, I think that really is experience and practice, and I think you just have to, you know, be using things every day and just getting used to them. I don't like this character now because I'm going to change this. Okay, so we're going to have a pink. We're going to have a pink doll in a pink. In fact, it's all going to be pink. Yes. So I need to think of a different kind of toy, something a bit more girly. Dolls and toys, a girl's kind of toy. I have a little white frilly edge to the bib there, so I need a kind of a different toy. And I think the scarf here, I can have this pastely, so I can have a little bit of slight difference in there. So I'm doing this in Naples yellow, which, if you follow me, you'll know I quite like using. And we'll have a little bit of that on there, and we can have a bit of pink in here as well. So I think that really is all I can say, is just practice, practice, practice every day, and you will get to know your materials. And I think, and I've been going on recently about, we need some underneath there, in previous videos about, being professional and stuff like that. And my definition of professional is earning a living from what it is you are doing. And I had another comment yesterday about that, but I'll get back to that in another video. So if you're earning your living, then you really need to know your tools, and that's what the paint is. They're the tools of your trade, and you need to know how they work. And I remember years and years ago, I was training as a sign writer, and my boss was teaching me, and he would get really frustrated at times, and particularly on curves, painting curves like the round bits of letter R and O and C and things like that. And he kept on saying, "It's in the brush. The brush will do it for you. You're trying to trying to paint this thing. Let the brush do it." And the brushes we had really long hairs. And he's absolutely right. And I remember the day when I kind of let go and let the brush do the work. And right, that's how you do it. And you just, and it's in the twist of the wrist, and it's the allowing the brush to do the work. And you can only get to that kind of level with practice. I'm sorry, but it's true. So now I've got to think, what am I going to do with that? This is definitely a baby thing, so what I'm going to do is have one of those kind of counting things that you get like that. That will come out like that. So am I worried that this is up here or not down here? No, I'm not, because I can cut this out in Photoshop and paste it down there. So I'm going to do, so it's like a little row of donuts. You've seen these kind of games for babies, where they have to stick them over the ring in the right order. And it's how you learn to count and sort and all those sorts of things. So I need to get this dry, and then somewhere on my incredibly messy desk, and then I can gently erase those pencil marks. So I will make the rings pink and leave a little bit of white for highlight, and pink. It's so difficult, this book, because you sort of get into all sorts of sexist stereotypes. And I just kind of looked up on Google, toys for baby girls, and up come bottles and prams and things like that, which are just a bit too obvious somehow. And yet the toys for boys in this are very obvious. So I'm kind of making a comment about that as well, really. But it's very, very tricky, because people get quite vocal, and they have definite stances on sexism and all sorts of things. And I'm sure some people are going to get upset by this book and go, "Sexist twaddle," or something like that. But I think I have done my best, my very, very best, not to tread a line, but to make a sensitive comment on so many things in contemporary society, I suppose. Yes, comment on something like that. And so yeah, I think as I said before, I'm not sure it is a children's book. I think it's really for the grown-ups. And this, if it is a children's book, I think you should always have something in there for the grown-ups. because they're the ones you're probably going to have to read it 500 times. Yeah, bit of kind of shadow. Oh, add a bit of purple into that. Bit of shadow into that. We're going to need some stripes. A bit under there. Like that, and then I think just a tiniest bit of blue in the eyes. So thank you for watching, and if you have got comments and questions that you want to ask about illustrating and stuff like that, put them in the comments box below. Make sure you are subscribed to Shoo Rayner Drawing Channel and keep coming back for lots more drawings and videos. In the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye bye.